Hi, this is Ian from Yarn Folk, and I'm doing the first part of our video recap from my car. I am arriving back at work after not having been gone for very long. Last night was the second Ellensburg night market of the year, and it looked to me like the turnout was really good. Yesterday was part of our scheduling changes for this week. We were open from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Yesterday, with social stitching moved this week to yesterday from 6 to 8. On this Saturday, I will be open from 9 until 12, but then I'm going to take off and go and support my spouse at the Cascade Crest 100. It's a 100-mile race that begins in Easton, goes through Hyack, crosses under I-90, runs along the lakes and trails, and winds up back in Easton. And this will be, I think, the 5th time he's participated in this race. He's finished twice. It's a really tough race, and I need to leave early on Saturday in order to be there at the last aid station and at the finish line. So that's why we're having some changes this week, and things will be back to normal next week. Okay, so a couple of other things on the calendar. We are continuing to support the Olive Knits knit along this year. I've heard from a number of people who are getting close to the end of their Spill the Tea vests. If you're not, there's still half the month left. It's fine. If you have any questions toward the end of the project or any point along the way, feel free to reach out. And also remember that Marie does have great tutorials on her website. I think that a couple of people are knitting Christmas stockings along with me. I'm making a new shop sample. So if that's something you're doing, shoot me a photograph when you're done. Then in August, I am proposing what I'm calling a muscle doodle knit along. A lot of us have knit Musselburgh hats, and it's a great pattern that basically gives you a double layer reversible hat. And I thought it would be fun to combine that pattern with Pacific Knit Company's Doodle series. We have a couple of the doodle decks here at the shop, but her patterns are also available on Ravelry and on her website. They're small, interchangeable colorwork patterns. And I think it's just could make for a really fun knitting experience when you have color work that is basically all encased in a tube. When it's in a double layer situation, you don't have to worry too much about the ends. You want to secure them enough so that your stitches where you've changed colors don't come loose, but you don't have to get too fussy about weaving them in, because they're going to be inside and no one will ever see them again. So that opens up the possibility of using a lot of colors if you like. So if you've got, stash that you want to combine with some fresh yarn, lots of possibilities there. Then on August 20, so that's the month of August. And then on August 24th, we will be welcoming Jean Ann from Cerulean Orchid, and also Amanda from Geektastic Fibers. So we're going to have a combined trunk show. Jean Ann is going to bring tons and tons and tons of stickers, and Amanda will be here with yarn. That will be on Saturday, August 24th, all day. I'll figure out a way to do the display stuff and still have room for social stitching. I haven't met Amanda, but Jean Ann has, I think, been to one of our social groups before, and she is lovely, and I'm certain that Amanda is lovely also. So that is what we have on the calendar. The one other thing I will add is that there will be a calendar announcement next week, so you'll want to take a look at your email when it arrives. So okay, Rico has a new yarn called Fashion Cotton Merino Lace. It is 80% cotton and 20% merino. These 50-gram skeins contain, I think, 317 yards. It's something like that. So it kind of puts it into a light fingering category. The labels have this really useful depiction of what the patterning looks like. So it's sort of self-striping, but in a sort of blurred watercolory way. The recommended gauge is 24 stitches per inch, so that is really appropriate for, you know, a nice summer top. The email and blog post have some links to a couple of ideas, both knit and crochet, and it's just really it's kind of a chainette structure, so it's pretty light. Chainettes are one that I think really works especially well for crochet, and again, the yardage per ball is very generous, so take a look at that. Some really pretty colors. I'll also mention briefly that we got a shipment of books on Monday. So we have a few new titles in the shop. Marie Green's Joy of Yarn. We also have her Knitting Light. We have the Short Row Colorwork book from Woolly Wormhead. A few new copies of Patty Lyon's Bag of Knitting Tricks. Modern Granny Squares. There might be another one I'm forgetting. But I didn't actually mention those in the email, but they're in the shop now. Highlighting what's new in the shop, just drawing some attention to our local wool products. We have Cook Creek Sheep Company. Jamie is the shepherd, and from Cook Creek we have Bamboo and Border Leicester blend here. Purple and blue, and then some coordinating mini skeins over here. The full skeins are $20, the minis are $14 for the bundle. And then we also have 100% Coopworth. This is a really lovely natural gray, sheep's gray color. And so this is from Jamie's Coopworth Fleece. And then we also have a different spin on the Coopworth. This is a bulky Lopi style yarn. The natural skeins on that are again 20, and the bulky Lopi style is 29. So that is Cook Creek Sheep Company, and then we also have Rocky Ruby Ranch. So this, we've had Cook Creek Sheep for a little bit, but we've just added Rocky Ruby. We have here the natural merino and alpaca blend. So in the case, in Rocky Ruby's line, we've got some alpaca blends, and both the sheep's wool and the alpaca are from their flock. This natural sheep's gray, the light is really weird this morning, is 70% merino and 30% alpaca. And then our remaining skeins are an interesting blend of 80% Rommeldale. Rommeldale is an endangered heritage breed. And then 20% alpaca. So we've got a natural white, a dyed green, a dyed variegated green, and an orange. And then the other product that we have from Rocky Ruby is wool pellet soil amendments. And so the deal with these is that they're the compressed leftovers from shearing operations, and they're a great amendment to potting soil, garden soil. They increase water retention and add organic matter to the soil. Okay, the last item from this week's blog post is a progress shot from my shop sample of the woodland stockings. This pattern has 4 different motif choices. There's the squirrel, there's a bird, there's a rabbit, and a deer. They're all super, super cute. They kind of have a snowflake falling on the woodland creatures theme. The squirrel has a little extra acorn and some leaves on it, and it's a really fun pattern to knit. It's very exciting to see your little creature emerge. I showed the difference between an unblocked stranded color work and blocked. This is just steam blocked. It's going to benefit even more from wet blocking, but if you look at the progress shot, compare and contrast, you get a much more even stockinette surface once you block the project. The heel is a short row heel, and the toe I think is a pretty normal sock toe. The cuff of this pattern uses a slip stitch chevron, say that 3 times fast, that makes a really nice, interesting texture at the top. And it also kind of has, because of the slip stitches, the fabric is a little bit thicker at the top. And it's added at the end, but there's also an I-cord loop for these guys. I'm using Fiber Company Lore for this. In Sensitive is the red color, and down there at the bottom, the white is Logical. Really enjoy using non-superwash wools for color work, and this is a really fun project. If you are also working on a Christmas stocking, I would love to see what you're doing, so let me know. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.